Good morning, dear students. My name is Vidya and I am physics lecturer in Excellent PU College, Sunnari, Kundapura. Dear students, today we will discuss about the 13th chapter of first PU Physics, that is kinetic theory. Okay, interesting chapter, kinetic theory. Now listen students, we already discussed about thermodynamics chapter, correct, right? In that thermodynamic chapter, we discussed about behavior of gas molecules. In order to explain that behavior of gas molecules, we take the help of thermodynamic variables. Can you give some examples for thermodynamic variables like pressure, volume, temperature, number of moles and so on. So by using the thermodynamic variables, we can explain the behavior of gases. In thermodynamics, we discussed about these things. And also we know that thermodynamic is nothing but macroscopic approach. And here, one thing you have to note down, this kinetic theory is based on microscopic approach. That means in kinetic theory, we are discussing about behavior of gas molecules in terms of microscopic quantities like mass, speed, momentum and kinetic energy of gas molecules, so on. Now the question is, now this one is clear. Thermodynamics is related to macroscopic approach and kinetic theory, in that we are discussing about microscopic approach. Now what is the difference between this? Macroscopic and microscopic approach. Okay, for that I will consider one example here. Let us consider one classroom, and here I have to identify or I have to conclude the performance of whole classroom. Now how will you conclude the performance of section A or one classroom? For that, what I will do? So I will collect the information like how many students are getting above 90 marks in that classroom, and how many students are average students there, and how many are remedial students are there, and how many are in sports, and how many are in dance, and how many are in music, and so on. Like that I am collecting information, and finally we can conclude or we can decide the performance of that classroom. ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ನಾನೊಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಿನ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಎ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಸೊ ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ 90% ಅಬೋವ್ ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಅವರೇಜ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೆಮಿಡಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕೋಟಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್, ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ನಾನು ಈಚ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನನ್ನು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫೈನಲಿ ಆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನಿಂದ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಓಕೆ ದಟ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಆರ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್, ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೇಡನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? And this one is macroscopic approach. This example is nothing but macroscopic approach or thermodynamic approach. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ microscopic approach ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಏನು? For that, what I will do, I will consider the same example like one classroom is there and the intention is also same. That means I have to identify the identify the performance of that classroom. For that, what I will do, in this microscopic approach, what I will do, I will call each and every student there and I'm discussing about their performance and their performance in studies and their talents. Like that, I'm discussing each and every information with that student. Like that, I'm considering each and every student there. And finally, what I will do after the discussion, I can conclude, yes, performance of that classroom like this, so that I can give one grade there. ಹಾಗಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಸೊ ಈ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿಕ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ನಾನು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟನ್ನು ಕರಿತೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟನ್ನು ಕರೆದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ನಾನು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದನ್ನು ಅವನ ಹತ್ರ ಕೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ಅವನ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾನ ಅಥವಾ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾನ, ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾನ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟನ್ನು ಕರೆದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ microscopic approach. That means in that microscopic approach we are concentrating each and every student. So this kinetic theory is nothing but microscopic approach. In that kinetic theory we are considering each and every molecule properties there. And one thing you have to note down here, ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಸೇಮ್. ಏನು? ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್, ಬಟ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್. ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿಕ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪಿಕ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಥರ್ಮೋಡೈನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಥಿಯರಿ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ದಟ್ by using kinetic theory we can explain macroscopic quantities like pressure, volume, temperature in terms of microscopic quantities like mass, momentum, kinetic energy, speed, etc. So I will repeat. So in case of kinetic theory we are discussing about macroscopic quantities in terms of microscopic quantities. So hope that example is clear. So you can conclude that this kinetic theory is based on molecular interpretation, and that molecular interpretation or molecular theory was developed by the scientist Dalton. So mainly this kinetic theory is based on molecular theory which was proposed by the scientist Dalton, and this kinetic theory was developed by the scientist named as Maxwell, Boltzmann and others. So this kinetic theory was developed by these scientists. And listen students, this chapter is only about introduction of kinetic theory. Now let us begin with this chapter. In this chapter we will cover some of the topics here. Let us discuss about that topics now. Okay, listen students, in this chapter we are discussing about these concepts. Very interesting concept, you have to concentrate, okay? And here just I will give introduction here. We are discussing about, or we are starting from equation of state of perfect gas. That means we are discussing about ideal gas equation like PV is equal to nRT. In detail we will discuss about that. Then we will discuss about gas laws, Boyle's law, Charles law and Gay-Lussac's law. Then we are discussing about the postulates of kinetic theory. So there are different postulates. In detail we will discuss about that. And after that we are going to discuss about concept of pressure. Very interesting one, and one important derivation is also here, concept of pressure. Then we are discussing about kinetic interpretation of temperature and RMS speed, that means root mean square velocity. And after that we are going to discuss about laws of equipartition of energy, and related to that concept some other concepts are there like degrees of freedom of gas molecules. Then we will discuss about how to calculate specific heat capacities of different gas molecules, and then we will discuss about very interesting one, the concept of mean free path. And after that we will discuss about the well-known quantity, how to getting that Avogadro's number. So listen students, in this chapter you have to concentrate these topics, very interesting one. Now let us begin with this chapter now. Okay dear students, now we came to know that this kinetic theory is based on molecular theory which was proposed by Dalton. Now what I will do, I will consider that basic concept molecule. Now listen students, we know that every matter is made up of molecules. Molecules means it made up of one or more atoms. Now what happens here, this molecule or atom have all the properties of a substance. Now in general, molecule is nothing but the smallest independent particle which exists in free state, and this molecule can be observed by using microscope. That means we can use the electron microscope here. In order to observe that molecule or atom, we can use electron microscope, or else we can use scanning tunneling microscope. So by using this microscope, electron microscope and scanning tunneling microscope, easily we can observe the atoms or molecules. Now listen students, these molecules are free to move and it has particular velocity. In general, we can conclude that molecule is nothing but the smallest independent particles. But the question is, what is the size of a molecule? Listen students, in general, the size of the molecule is nearly about 1 angstrom or 2 angstrom. And what is the value of angstrom here? 1 angstrom is equal to 10 power minus 10 meter. This is nothing but approximately the diameter of atom. Now listen students, in a matter, these molecules are bound to each other. Now what happens here, I will consider two molecules. I will consider two atoms here and diameter like nearly 10 power minus 10 meter. If the distance between the two molecules is nearly 2 angstrom or 2 into 10 power minus 10 meter, then what happens here? There will be intermolecular force between these two molecules, and because of this intermolecular force, these molecule or atom are bound to each other. Now, such state of the system or such state of the substance is known as solid state. So here, in case of solids, the distance between the two atoms is of the order of 2 angstrom, and because of intermolecular force, in case of solids, that atoms are bound to each other or very close to each other. Now the question is, what happens in case of liquids? Now, if the distance between these two atoms goes on increases or more than 2 angstrom, so again I will consider 2 atoms here, and if the distance between these 2 atoms is more than 2 angstrom or more than this value, what happens? Such state of the system or such state of the substance is known as liquids. Okay. Now the question is, what happens in case of gases? We are concentrating about gases here. In case of gases, what happens? This distance between the 2 atoms is more than 10 angstrom. So here, if we consider that same 2 molecules or atoms here, and in case of gases, the distance is more than 10 angstrom. Now what happens here? If the distance between the 2 atoms is more than 10 angstrom, that intermolecular forces between these 2 atoms is negligible. At that distance, intermolecular force is negligible. So what happens? That particles or that atoms free to move. They become independent particles. There is no force of attraction between the 2 particles in case of gases. It will be the independent particle. Now, in a given volume, okay, I will consider one particular volume here. There are so many atoms here, and in case of gases, there is no force of attraction between these atoms or molecules. So what happens? They free to move. So enagutte? So in case of gases, alli namge intermolecular force between 2 atoms iralla. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಏನು ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆರ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ತಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಬಂದಾಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ರೌಂಡ್ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಮೋಷನ್ these atoms are also collide with each other. Collision takes place. So we can conclude that in a given volume there are so many number of molecules and they are free to move, and sometimes they may collide with each other. Now during this in this chapter we are discussing about that velocity of that moving gas molecules. Okay, that point is important. Now before going to explain about velocity of these moving molecules or atoms in gases, we will discuss about one new term here. What do you mean by free path and mean free path during collision? Let us discuss about mean free path now. Hope it's clear. Yes, students, now we are discussing about free path. Okay, listen, as we know that in gas there are no intermolecular forces and that atoms are free to move, and during that movement there may be collision between them, correct, right? Now listen, what I will do, I will consider one container here and it has some amount of gas molecules. Now what happens here? Okay, I will consider this as one atom of gas molecule. This atom of gas molecule free to move. So what happens here? It may move any direction. Okay, let us consider this molecule or atom is moving like this, and here it hits one more molecule or one more atom here. And after hitting that atom, it reflected to some other direction, and again it may hit some other molecule. And after that it may hit some other molecule like that, and after that that collision goes on increases because there are so many molecules, so many collisions are there. That same molecule may collide with this atom, or this Again this atom may collide with this atom, and again this atom may collide with some other atom, or this atom collide with some other atom. Like that, that collision goes on continuous. Now one important thing you have to note down: the path in which there is no collision is known as free path. I will repeat: the path in which no collision between the gas molecules takes place is known as free path. Here also, from here to here there is no collision in between, this path is free path. Again here to here, again there is no collision in between them, so again this one is free path. Or in general, the path in which no collision takes place is known as free path. Then what do you mean by mean free path? Before that, one thing you have to note down here: this free path may vary from one gas to another gas, or that free path is different for different gases. It mainly depends on the temperature, the density of gas molecules. It may vary. Now what do you mean by mean free path here? Easily you can conclude that mean of all these free path is nothing but mean free path. So if you calculate mean of all those free path, then you are getting one particular value, and that value is generally known as mean free path. Now listen students, this is what happening inside the container. And in this chapter, we are discussing about, or we have to concentrate about, the velocity of these moving gas molecules. Okay, before going to explain about that velocity of gas molecules, means how velocity depend on pressure or how velocity depends on temperature, we will discuss about the basic gas laws. Here, first we will discuss about the gas laws, then we will discuss about some other concept. Yes, students, now we will discuss about the behavior of perfect gas. Here, since in case of gas molecules, intermolecular forces are negligible, it is easier to understand the behavior of perfect gas compared to solids and liquids. In case of solids and liquids, there will be intermolecular forces. Compared to that, this behavior of compared to that, to study behavior of gases is very easy. Now listen, gases at low density, low pressure and high temperature satisfies three important relations, and these three important relations are Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law. In detail we will discuss about these laws. Now what do you mean by ideal gas here? A gas which obeys these three laws are known as ideal gas. Okay, now in detail we will discuss about these three laws. For that, first one I will consider Boyle's law. And students, one thing you have to note down here, for these three laws, one common thing is here. Which is that one? Okay, listen. For these three laws, we are considering mass of gas is fixed. Mass of gas is fixed means we are not adding or removing gas from the container. Okay, this means given amount of gas is fixed. given amount of gas is fixed. What do you mean by that? That is nothing but number of moles constant is always constant. ಸೊ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಇದು 3 ಲಾಗ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಕಾಮನ್ ಥಿಂಗನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ 3 ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸನ್ನು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸನ್ನು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಗಿವನ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆ್ಯಡಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲೈಸ್ ದಟ್ number of moles in the given container remains constant. So ಇದು ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? Now we will discuss about the first law, Boyle's law. And one thing here, so ಈ 3 ಲಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, we are discussing about pressure, volume and temperature. ಸೊ ಈ 3 ಲಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿಯನ್ನು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? We are discussing about that things here. They may consider pressure as constant, then how volume and temperature vary, or they may consider temperature constant, then how pressure and volume vary, or they may consider like this, volume constant, then how pressure and temperature vary. Like that they are considering. Okay, dear students, now we will discuss about Boyle's law. Listen, according to Boyle's law, at constant temperature, for a given amount of gas, already told, for these 3 laws, amount of gas is fixed, right? For a given amount of gas, what happens? Already told, in these 3 laws, we are discussing about the variation of pressure, volume, temperature. So, ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿನ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀರಾ, ಇನ್ನೆರಡು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಹೇಗೆ ವೇರಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಈಗ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರನ್ನು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. And he noticed that when temperature is constant, this pressure inversely proportional to volume. So pressure of a gas inversely proportional to volume. Simple one. Let us consider one cylinder here. It has some amount of gas molecules. When pressure on that cylinder increases, what happens to volume of that cylinder? Pressure increases means volume goes on decreases, inversely proportional. Suppose pressure on that gas or on that cylinder goes on increases, what happens to volume of that cylinder or gas molecule? Sorry, what happens to the volume of that gas molecules? Volume goes on, pressure decreases means volume increases. Both are inversely proportional to each other. Now simple, replace that proportionality constant here. This implies that pressure is equal to some constant K into 1 by V. And listen students, in this equation K is constant, and that constant is different for different gas molecules. Okay, now if you simplify this equation, PV is equal to K. We can write like this, right? So Boyle's law states that PV equal to K. Now I will write one more equation. You have to identify whether that equation is correct or not. You can consider, can we write like this? P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Yes or no? Yes, we can write. This means if the pressure changes from P1 to P2, then volume must be changes. Volume changes from V1 to V2 such that that product PV is always constant. So this product PV must be constant. P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Now we will discuss about the graphical nature, how to represent Boyle's law by using graphs. We will discuss about that. So this thing you have to note down, simple one. ಹೀಗೆ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಬಾಯ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಲಾ. ಸೊ ಜನರಲಿ ಬಾಯ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಹೀಟಿಂಗ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಬಾಯ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಬಾಯ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಬರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಬಾಯ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈಸಿಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ P is inversely proportional to volume. Hope it's clear. Now we will consider graphical representation of Boyle's law. Okay students, now we are discussing about graphical nature or graphical representation of Boyle's law. Here PV is equal to constant. So pressure versus volume graph you have to plot here. If you plot pressure versus 1 by V, pressure versus 1 by V, both are inversely proportional, right? So P and 1 by V versus, you are getting one straight line here. Suppose if you plot pressure versus volume graph, so this is pressure versus V and this is pressure versus 1 by V. So if you plot this graph, what may be the nature of that graph here? So we have one particular equation, P is equal to or PV is equal to constant or P is equal to K divided by V. Correct, right? And this implies that this equation is similar to X proportional to 1 by Y. Correct, right? So P proportional to 1 by V or this is similar to X proportional to 1 by Y. But what is the nature of graph here? If X proportional to Y, we know that the nature of graph is rectangular hyperbola. So rectangular hyperbola. So I am plotting this graph P versus V as rectangular hyperbola. Now listen students. Now my question is, I will consider 2 points here, point A and here point B. What is the temperature at point A? Let us consider T1. Now what is the temperature at the point B here? This is Boyle's law. We are considering one condition here, temperature constant. That means temperature at the point B also T1. There is no change in the temperature. At this point also T1, here also temperature is constant T1 only. And here, since temperature is constant, this curve is also known as isotherm curve. So isotherm. Now you have to answer it. I will plot one graph and you have to identify whether T1 greater than T2, greater than T3 or some other else. Now I will plot some other graph here. Okay, now listen students. I plotted one graph here, P versus V, and we are considering 3 different temperatures. Like first one is at constant temperature T1, then some other temperature, that means at constant temperature T2, then at constant temperature T3. That for that 3 cases I am getting graph like this. This is for temperature T1 graph and this is for temperature T2 and this is for, this curve is for temperature T3. And one thing you have to note down here, for this isotherm at each and every point temperature must be equal to T1 only. For the second isotherm curve, at each and every point temperature is T2. And for the third isotherm curve, the temperature at each and every point is T3. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವೇನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ದ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆದರ್ T1 greater than T2 greater than T3 or T1 less than T2 less than T3. How to identify? T1 is not equal to T2, not equal to T3. We have three different curves here. That means that are not equal. You have to identify whether this condition is correct or this one is correct here. How to identify? Interesting one here. Listen students, for that what I will do, P versus V graph is here. We have one main equation, ideal case equation PV is equal to N R T. We have main equation PV is equal to N R T. By using this equation you can identify here. Okay, in this equation R anyway constant, universal gas constant. N represent number of moles. Here for a given amount of gas means number of moles fixed one here. So we can conclude that this PV depends only on the temperature, directly proportional. Now you can conclude that if PV, that product value is more, temperature is also more or temperature also increases. If it is decreases, temperature also decreases. So what I will do? ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಪಿ ವಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ನೋಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಪಿ ವಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಆಟೋಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಆ ಕರ್ವಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ದಟ್ ಐಸೋಥರ್ಮ್ ಕರ್ವ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಹೈ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ಏನು, ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಪಿ ವಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಹಿಯರ್, 3 ಕರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದರ್. ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಡು, I will consider one particular point here, and here let us consider pressure as P0. So for this curve pressure P0, and for the second curve also pressure is constant P0 only here at this point, and here also pressure P0. So for these 3 curves pressure remains constant. How much? P0 only. But what about volume value here? So at this particular point, this curve has volume as V1. And for the second curve is here, right? So it has volume. Volume is along x-axis. So it has volume somewhere here, V2. Then for the third curve, for the same pressure, what happens to the volume? And volume here V3. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಈ 3 ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ? ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕರ್ವ್ V3 ಈಸ್ ಮೋರ್. ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ 3 ಕರ್ವಿಗೆ ಸೇಮ್, ಬಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದು ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕರ್ವ್ಗೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಪಿ ವಿ? ಯಾವ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಪಿ ವಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ? ಇದು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಬಟ್ V3 ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದು ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕರ್ವ್ಗೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಪಿ ವಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕರ್ವ್. If PV product is more, temperature is also more, right? ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕರ್ವ್ಗೆ ಕರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಏನು? T3. So you can conclude that here T3 is greater than T1 and T2. So T3 is greater than T2 and T2 is greater than T1. So which condition is correct here? This one is not correct and this condition is correct. Or else you can write T3 greater than T2 greater than T1. Both are same. Hope it's clear. What we have to do? We have to consider PV product here. We have to identify for which case that PV product is more. for us we are getting for the third curve PV product is more because volume is more here, so PV product is more. So easily you can conclude that PV product more means temperature for that curve is more compared to other two curves. So easily you can write T3 is more compared to T2 compared to T1. Very interesting one, hope it's clear. And here this is about Boyle's law. So Boyle's means it is related to temperature. At constant temperature, P and V are inversely proportional to each other. Now we will discuss about one more relation, Charles' law. Here we have three variables here: pressure, volume, temperature. So Charles' law, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀರಾ? Listen. According to Charles' law, at constant pressure, and one more thing, which one is constant there? I already told, for a given mass or for a given amount of gas, okay, this one is fixed. How volume and temperature varies there. Listen students, here volume directly proportional to temperature at constant pressure. As temperature increases, volume of given amount of gas also increases. Now replace that proportionality symbol here. V is equal to some constant K into T. And in this equation, this K is known as constant, and this constant is different for different gas molecules. Now, I will write one more equation here. This equation can also be rewritten as V by T is equal to constant. This is Charles' law here. Now, can we write like this here? V1 by T1, this is equal to V2 by T2. Can we write here? Yes, you can write. If volume changes, temperature also changes to T1. If the final volume is V2, the temperature may becomes T2, such that that ratio V1 by T1 must be equal to V2 by T2. Now, we will discuss about the graphical representation here. V proportional to T or V equal to KT. This is in the format of Y is equal to mx plus C here, but there is no Y intercept as it passing through the origin here. V is equal to KT, that means that graph represents straight line. So V, volume versus temperature, you are getting one straight line here. Okay. Now, I will ask one question. Here, if you calculate pressure at each and every point, what happens here? Pressure must be constant, correct? So here anyway pressure constant. If it is pressure here P1, here also that pressure must be P1 only. So generally we are considering that curve as isobars. So isobars. Okay, now what I will do? I will consider three curves here at pressure P1, P2, P3. You have to identify whether P1 greater than P2 greater than P3 or whether P1 less than P2 less than P3. You have to identify. Now we will plot that such a type of graph here. Okay students, now I plotted one graph here. Same graph here, volume versus temperature. But ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕರ್ವ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ P1 and second one is at constant pressure P2 and third one is represent at constant pressure P3. And you have to note down here at each and every point on this curve pressure P1 only, but for the second curve pressure P2 and for the third curve at each and every point pressure is P3 only. Now the question is, whether P1 is greater than P2 greater than P3 or P3 is greater than P2 greater than P1. You have to identify which one is proper here. How will you continue here? We have one equation, ideal gas equation here. So what I will do? We know that PV is equal to nRT. Correct, right? Or if you write one equation for volume here, volume is equal to nRT divided by P. Student, one thing you have to notice here, in this equation, anyway n constant. For a given amount of gas, n constant, number of moles constant. Anyway, R universal gas constant. And what about P here? For Charles law at constant pressure means P also constant. In this equation, this nR by P is constant. So you can consider this equation V is equal to KT, and here K is nothing but slope of that graph. So you can consider if slope of graph or else what about K value here? K value is, if you compare that to equation, nR divided by P. That means if pressure value or if slope goes on increases, pressure value goes on decreases. So if slope is more, pressure value is also more. Hope it's clear. Now you have to identify in which case slope is more here. We have three different curves here. Okay, let us consider this as equation number 1 here. Now we have general equation V is equal to KT. Now write that equation V is equal to K into T. Let us consider this as equation number 2. From equation 1 and 2, you can note down here, what about K value? K, nothing but slope of that graph. Y is equal to mx plus c. So m is nothing but slope there. K is slope. K is equal to nR divided by P here. So you can consider as slope value increases, what happens to pressure here? Both are inversely proportional. These two anyway constant, so pressure decreases. So ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ? ಸೊ ಆ 3 ಕರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್? Pressure must be more at that curve. ನೋಡುವ, ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇವಾಗ. Here for the curve P3, slope is this much only, and for the second one P2, that slope increases, and for the third curve like P1, for P1 that slope value goes on increases. Here P3, you have to find out slope here. Slope you can find out. And then P2 slope increases, then for P1 again slope goes on increases. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು? ಯಾವ ಕರ್ವ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು P1ಗೆ. ಸೊ P1 ಕರ್ವ್ಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಟು P2 ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ P3. ಈಗ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಎಟ್ ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್? ಸೊ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರಬೇಕು, ನಮಗೆ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನಾನು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ P1 ಈಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ P2 ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ P3, ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ P1 ಈಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ P2 ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ P3, ಸೇಮ್ ಆಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್. P P3 greater than P2 greater than P1. So this equation is wrong, but this equation is correct. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು, ಯಾವ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ, ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ P3 ಇಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆರ್ P3 ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಟು P2 P1. ಇದು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ okay students, now we will discuss about one more law, Gay-Lussac's law, or it is also known as pressure temperature law. And listen students, here what happens here, we have three variables P, V, T. In case of Gay-Lussac's law, at constant volume, ಸೊ ಎಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಹೇಗೆ ವೇರಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಎಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಗಿವನ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್, here pressure and temperature directly proportional to each other. That's it. Here ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮನ್ನು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ವೇರಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ರೀಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಪೋರ್ಷನಾಲಿಟಿ ಹಿಯರ್. P is equal to some constant into T here, and here this K is known as constant, and it's different for different gas molecules. Now can we write like this? This equation is also equal to P1 by T1, this is equal to P2 divided by T2. This is also correct. So, Gay-Lussac's law. Then what about graphical representation here? P proportional to T, both are directly proportional, right? So, if we consider this as pressure axis here and this as temperature, then Y is equal to mx plus C format is the, so you are getting one straight line here. Now, the question is, if you calculate that volume at this point, you may get like V1. And if you calculate the same, if you calculate that volume at this point, again you are getting V1 only, because here we are assuming here at constant volume. So listen students, since volume at each and every point is same here, this curve is known as, if volume constant, what we can call it as? Isochoric curve. Isochoric. Okay. Hope it's clear. In case of Gay-Lussac's law, you have to consider at constant volume. Now we discussed about Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law. Simple one. You have to remember three terms here: pressure, volume, temperature. Now in case of Boyle's law, which one is constant here? Boiling temperature constant. So these two are inversely proportional. Second one, Charles' law. Charles' law means which one constant here? Pressure constant. Pressure constant means what happens to these two? Both are directly proportional. And here third one, Gay-Lussac's law, which one constant here? Pressure, temperature. Third one, volume constant. Then what about these two relation? Pressure proportional to T. These three enough. Hope it's clear. Now students, we will discuss about one more law here, Avogadro's hypothesis. Now we will discuss about Avogadro's law. Listen. Under similar conditions of pressure and temperature, I will write here, equal volume of gases are having equal number of moles. Okay, listen students, we have three variables, pressure, volume and temperature. So ಈಗ ಅವಗಾಡ್ರೋಸ್ ಲಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಅಂಡರ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ? ದಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ having equal number of moles. That means if V is the volume of gas, then that volume of gas is directly proportional to number of moles N. What do you mean by N here? N represents number of moles. I will consider an example. Listen here. We have three containers here filled with some amount of gas, like this one having 50 ml of oxygen and this one having 50 ml of hydrogen, let it be, and here 50 ml of some other gas like nitrogen. Okay, and the condition is these three containers are maintained under similar condition. Similar condition means pressure and temperature same in that room. Now the question is, if this container has X number of moles, then what about the number of moles in the remaining container? What happens there? According to Avogadro's hypothesis, at similar conditions of pressure and temperature, what happens? The equal volume of all the gases having equal number of moles. If there are n number of moles, here also number of moles must be x only, and here also number of moles x only. There is no difference in that number of moles. Equal number of moles x only. Now what I will do? So ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ 50 ml ಇದೆ, ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಎನಿವೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರನ್ನು ಆ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಆಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನನಗೆ ಈ ಎರಡು ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲೇ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ 50 ml only are having equal number of moles. ಈಗ ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ರೀಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ದಟ್ 50 ml by 100 ml. ಇವಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕೇಸ್? ಹಿಯರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ 50 ml ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, 50 mlಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಕಂಟೈನಿಂಗ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇದೆ 50 mlಗೆ. ಸೊ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ 50 ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕೇಸ್? ಇಟ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ 2x. ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೀರೈಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ವಿ ನೋ ದಟ್ 1 mole of gas containing how many molecules? If here x moles are there, 1 mole containing how many number of molecules? Generally it containing 6.023 into 10 power 23 molecules. Now if the number of molecules increases, what happens to number of moles? Number of moles also increases. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು? ಸೊ ಈ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದ ಹಾಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಆ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನನ್ನು ನಾನು ಏನು ಬರಿಬೋದು? ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಪ್ರೊಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ಟು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ it is also proportional to number of molecules. Correct? Hope it's clear. Under similar conditions of P and T, this one is both are directly proportional. This is